I could hold the bottle the right way. Seems like a plan. And it died. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're out here in the shop and we're going to be working on the 85 Pontiac 6000 wagon. Kind of been keeping a little bit of a secret from you. If you've watched one of the last videos, maybe said a little something about it, but let me show you what's going on with this thing. So we just gotta, start it up here. So yeah, as you can hear, it's knocking. I don't know if I made too many 11s in the street doing burnouts or what, but I was driving it normal when it happened.
How neat is that?
So, that's where we're at here. If you watch the videos of when I did this swap and I was going through this engine, kind of cleaning it up, resealing it, inspecting everything, you can see where we found out that somebody had already been in there. There was a cracked piston skirt. And I said, we'll put it in, iron out the swap, and put something better in when this lets go. Well, 1,700 miles in, I think, it's let go. So we're gonna put something different in here.
That's what she said.
Also, in this video, we're gonna do that engine swap, obviously. The other thing we're gonna do is I think I have figured out AC, which this car doesn't have an AC compressor on it, has AC delete. That car has an AC compressor on it. It's not hooked up. I'm never going to hook it up to that car. So we're going to take the AC compressor out of that car. We're going to put the AC delete in that car. And they're going to put the AC compressor in this car. I have a back seat full of parts. I have the AC line. That should work. I got oil, a bunch of other AC parts. There's a full gasket kit back here for 3800. Also, right front strut's leaking, so we got another one of those. The top coilover hat on the passenger side is also broken, so I have another cheap coilover kit. So we're gonna get that stuff taken care of in this video. And we are also gonna finish the door panels, because if you look at this, the driver's side door panel, it's got the green houndstooth. None of the other ones do. We're gonna correct that as well. So basically, get everything done in this video I've been dragging my feet on, because I like to drag my feet, if you can't tell by that car still being torn apart. And we're gonna get this to where everything works on it. And it was already a nice car to drive, but it's gonna be a really nice car to drive, because I wanna go do stuff with this year. And I say that every year, don't I? About everything, and then I don't. So, needed an engine. Went to the local junkyards. There was one Series 3. I think it was in some sort of Pontiac, something or other, Grand Prix, Bonneville, but it already had parts stolen off of it. There were also some other interesting front-wheel drive GM cars. I ended up finding one on eBay, and it's right here. Looks pretty good. This is out of a 2002, I believe. 2003, Park Avenue. Ultra flavored. That's why it's supercharged. Has 120,000 miles on it. Good compression all around. So what we're gonna do is we are going to clean this engine up, take it down, reseal a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of new sensors and new water pump and whatnot on this engine in this car, so we're gonna take this engine out. We'll put the new water pump and all that on this engine, paint everything up all nice like, and then we'll put it in that car with the AC stuff. So step number one of all this is going to be moving Knocky McKnocks outside, so we have room to slide this engine over, and we're gonna clean it. I could hold the bottle the right way. So our friends at Super Clean have sent us some more Super Clean. So we're gonna super clean this engine and make it look all pretty. So let's get to that action. All right guys, got the engine out here. We're gonna soak it down with some Super Clean, and we're gonna pressure wash it off. We've already got the caps and whatnot on it from the junkyard. I'll just try to not spray too much at that stuff. Remember, a lot of the sensors and stuff are swapping over from the other engine. Alright, we're using the super clean foaming. Stuff works pretty good. I just pressure washed the 4-cylinder out of the pace car Fiero. We'll let this sit for a little bit and then pressure wash it off. Now just remember, if you're using super clean on something you just painted or you care about, try it someplace inconspicuous to make sure it doesn't mess with your paint. Don't let it dry on there. With this, I just want to get all the grease off because we are going to repaint everything to make it look brand new anyway. Let's get this pressure washed off. Alright, we're going to go over it one more time. Some of the regular, non-foaming, super clean, and then we should be good enough for what we're going to do. Alright guys, there you have it. It's pretty clean enough for what we're doing. We got a lot of the grease off. Now, I know I've probably said this 52 times already, but we're going to be taking this all apart, painting everything similar to what it is now. We're going to be taking a bunch of stuff off the engine in that car, like the water pump, a lot of the sensors and whatnot that are new, and we're going to be putting them on this engine. So, going to get this thing all prettied up and in that car. The only thing I'm wondering, do I use the steel oil pan that's in that car, or do I use this aluminum one? I think I might stick with the aluminum one. So we're gonna go ahead, get this pulled back in the shop. We'll let it dry for a day or so. Then we'll start taking it apart and then paint stuff and put it back together with brand new gaskets. So stay tuned, we'll be back for that. And we're back. It's a couple days and a haircut later. I got the 6000 up on the lift, as you can see. The engine turned out pretty nice. Looks nice and clean, ready to be taken apart and painted. But I thought about it, thought about the process here, and I think what we need to do first is get the engine out of this car, because I want to swap a bunch of the parts over. Like, there's a new water pump on this engine, a bunch of new sensors. So we need to get this engine out, and then we can kind of take it apart. Paint some parts on that, swap some parts over, and I think that's how we need to do it. So our first step is going to be getting the engine out of this car. So to do that, usually first step is to disconnect the battery. So we'll lower it down, disconnect the battery, and we'll probably put it back up. I want to drain the oil, and we can look at how glittery that is. Drain the cooling system, undo the lower radiator hose, which is right there. We can undo trans cooler lines. I want to take the starter out, which is also new, and get the flywheel, or not flywheel, the torque converter bolts out, so I don't forget that later. And then when I'm trying to separate the transmission from the engine, big mess. We can take the exhaust down. We'll take the wheels off, get the suspension all unbolted, so that's all ready to come out. The bolt for the steering linkage, then we can lower it back down, get all the stuff on top, upper radiator hose, heater hoses, throttle cable, trans shift cable, and then the wiring, and then it should be ready to drop out. And what I think we're going to do is steal this little cart that the Indy Fiero subframe is on there. It's on wheels. We'll move this and I'll set it up here on the car. Pressure washed this engine the other day too, and it looks really good. Still working on this video too, but I want to get the wagon going first, and then we'll deal with this. So yeah, we'll get this cart, get the subframe off of it, get that cart, then we can position it under here, under this subframe. We'll lower the car down onto it, unbolt the 4 bolts to hold the subframe in, and then lift the car up off of everything. And as long as we get everything unhooked, we'll be good to go. So, let's lower it down and get that battery disconnected. Alright, a battery is over on this side. We'll take the negative post off, and that'll be good enough. And we will have to remember to unbolt those from the transmission down there. Our shift cable's here. We'll probably get this intake tube off. Throttle cable, yeah, we got a couple vacuum lines. The one that goes to the brake booster, and then the one for the climate control. Heater hoses are back there. Take this dog bone mount loose. Upper radiator hose, if I didn't say that already. The transcool lines are down there. For our wiring, there's the one big bolt connector in this corner that we'll take off, and the section of harness that comes with the engine will be there, ready to go. Then the other one is up under the hood. We'll have to unplug the computer and everything, fish it back through the firewall where we just ran the wires for the underglow. So yeah, that's that. Let's put it up, back up in the air, drain the oil, drain the cooling system. Probably take the wheels off on the way up. Seems like a plan. Ooh, it's time to fix the cover. So I think instead of taking the knuckle apart here, what we're going to do is take the tie rod and the lower ball joint loose, and then we'll undo axle bolt, take axle out. So all this will stay with the car. The subframe and stuff will come out the bottom. Yeah, except we've got to take this strut out because it's leaking, and the upper perch thing is broken. So that's great. You stay there, buddy. And going up some more. Lock. And let's see what our oil looks like. This pan's all dented in. I think I'll stick with the aluminum one on that other engine. Ew. Yeah, it's not great. Well, there's what that oil looks like. You can definitely see there's some metal in it. That's good. It smells like fuel also. Of course, that could be because the one cylinder's down. I definitely think we're going to end up using the fuel injectors and stuff off that engine. I don't know, what I'd really like to do is use the supercharger and everything off that engine to swap the pulley over. I mean, we're taking the intake and all that off anyway to reseal it. I don't know, this supercharger was supposedly rebuilt. I don't know. Either way, we'll have a spare. That'll be good. Unhook the power cables from the starter. Now, since we're doing this, I'm going to tidy up some more of the wiring harness to make it just that much better. I don't know, if you got to redo things, you might as well improve things. This should see, brand new starter. Alright, so now with the starter out, right up on the flywheel, right up here on the flywheel will be, there's one of them, torque converter bolts. There'll be 3 of them. I'm gonna get those torque converter bolts out, get the cooling system drained, get the suspension undone, axles out, all that good stuff. Get all this stuff on the underside knocked out. And once we got the everything on the underside, suspension, all that stuff knocked out, I'll meet you back up on the top. Hey, we're back. I got updates. Got a little carried away. Forgot to turn the camera back on. Yeah, everything's disconnected. The wiring looks like a mess because that's what it is. All we have left to do is unbolt the subframe and raise the car up off the engine and trans. Torque converter bolts are out, fuel lines are off, transmission cooler lines are off, all the coolant lines are off, including the heater hoses. Shifter cable's loose. Wiring is a mess on top of the engine. I think that pretty much takes care of everything. Vacuum lines are off. Yeah, upper dog bone mount is loose. Everything else is disconnected. Now I just had to wiggle my butt underneath it, unbolt the 4 bolts for the subframe, and we can lift the car off of it. Suspension's all loose and everything, so should be good. So it's creeper time. All right, unbolted. Now we can test the tensile strength of whatever I've forgotten to disconnect. And there's that. It's down there if you're looking for it. Look good over there. Look good over here. I think I got everything. Weird. And there you have it. Pontiac 6000 is without an engine again. All right. Now we just gotta do all the things. All right, let's get a closer look. Here we go. We are out. This is the connector that goes over driver's side of the firewall. This plugs in for heat and cooling power. And this little green wire in here is for AC. So we're gonna have to find where I cut that, figure out what that one is for. Moving around here. Yeah, the wiring is a bit of a mess. My plan here with this now is to kind of clean this up some, like 3/4 of these wires we don't need anyway. It was leaking a little bit around the gasket at the exhaust. I think we're going to use these manifolds because they're wrapped. Also have the nice bolts from ZZ Performance. It's already deleted for the EGR. So that's going to work there. Power steering line's about rubbed through, that's great. Now we might try to elevate this engine slightly because it sits kind of down ever so slightly. Oh look, had a valve cover bolt missing. That's cool. So yeah, some of the parts off this we're going to use, some of them we're not. My plan now that this is out is to move that engine kind of over here because it'll sit on that aluminum pan. You see that has an aluminum pan, the oil filter kind of goes in a different spot. I'm not sure if it'll clear on this one. So I put the oil filter like over into the mount area, so I don't know, we might have to swap this oil filter adapter over, which means we'll have to clean it up really good because of the knocky knocks and all the metal. Yeah, the water pump's new. I believe the tensioners and stuff were newer. I don't remember, but this is that AC delete. So we're gonna put that on the Blue Fiero and get the compressor off Blue Fiero to put it on that engine. So yeah, that's our next step, I guess, is move that engine over here, take a bunch of the crap off of it, paint. Oh, paint. I did buy paint. So we're gonna go with this hammered copper because I like how that looks. But I also got this green to kind of accent some stuff. So my thought is valve covers copper, then these 3 bars have those be green to match, and then down in here have it be copper too. You know, I don't know. And we're gonna paint this fuel rail so it's like that fuel rail, the copper. If we use this supercharger, we'll paint it black. Might just swap that supercharger over. I don't know. Then I bought this Rust-Oleum, like ceramic coating stuff. Did I buy that for the engine? No, I bought this stuff for the engine. I think this is for the header on the Pace Car Fiero. Yeah, this is for the engine. So we're gonna spray this now, new engine down, some flat black, maybe mist some of this green into it. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. So yeah, that's our next step. We'll move this engine over there, pull the exhaust off of it, EGR, see what brackets are the same, and get the supercharger, valve covers, lower intake, all that off of it. And we can paint stuff and start putting it back together. All right, so somewhere along the line, the camera died. We got this one stripped down pretty good. I got to get the coolant temp sensor off of it to put over on this one. What else? Oh, oil pressure sensor. I think this setup will work on this. We'll see tomorrow. We'll get stuff flip-flopped over. Yeah. Got a coat of black paint on this. Oh yeah, I gotta swap the water pumps over too. Anyway, coat of black paint on this. Got other stuff over here. A couple coats of paint, which is great. It's cold, so it's not really drying that great. This was the tarp I used last time. It's painted, so hopefully that dries. It's supposed to be warmer tomorrow. It's like 48 degrees out here right now. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll flip-flop the water pump, a couple sensors, start putting this together, get that intake manifold, lower intake manifold on it, all these other brackets and stuff. Get this one ready to go, and then we'll get that one unbolted from the trans and off, swap the engine mount bracket onto that, stuff that on there, and bolt the harness up, fix whatever things on the wiring harness need to be fixed, because I'm sure there's a lot of them, and we'll go from there. Oh, I gotta run to AutoZone in the morning also, because this power steering line was mostly rubbed through. I touched it, it started leaking, so gotta go get a compression fitting for that. Probably get a couple more of these aluminum brackets, elbows, but they're not that much money, so I'll get another set of those so we have it. Yeah, I mean, good progress. Haven't been out here too long, 4 hours or so. It's just getting late. I'm tired. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. And we're back next day. Brought help. He's painting and cleaning. We are going to get this engine off, get that one put together and back on here. So that's what we're doing. Alright, and we're back. It's later in the day, evening. I lost all my help. We got the engine off, the old one. Went to put the engine mount bracket on the new engine, and it wouldn't clear the aluminum oil pan or the oil filter adapter. So got all that swapped over onto this engine. Had to clean a bunch of crap out of both, but they're on it. Also, that steel oil pan was kind of smashed in on the bottom, so I went ahead and fixed that, bashed in from the top. Cleaned everything out really good a couple different times with some parts cleaner, and it's ready to go. Hopefully we won't get any metal in the new engine. this is what came out of the old engine, all this metal, not the RTV, but yeah. Looks like some of that is that piston skirt that was cracked. So yeah, so now I'm going to attempt to get that engine onto the transmission, mount it all up, and then we can start putting the top end together. If we walk over this way, we got all these brackets painted. Painted the valve cover bolts, don't know if they'll work out. But I got the valve covers and the fuel rail, fuel assembly, all painted, clear coated. It's drying with a little heater just to help make sure it's all set up. We'll get all this stuff on once I get the engine mated to the transmission. We got a power steering line to fix that was rubbed through. I got compression fittings for that. I got to do that. I got my little crappy welder here, as the exhaust here was leaking in a few spots, so we're going to weld that up before we put that back in. So yeah, we're making progress. So my goal here tonight is get the engine on the trans, get everything back on it, get the wiring, all that tidied up. It'd be nice to get it in the car, but I still have got to get the AC compressor out of the wide body Fiero too. So let's just work and see what we get done. Alright, somewhere in there the camera died, but it's pretty much ready to go in. I still have to get the AC compressor off of the Fiero, but it's 11:50 Sunday night. I have to be to work tomorrow by 7, whatever. So I'm done for the night. We got to figure out AC wiring still too, which I can do that once I get it in the car. I just want to get the compressor and whatnot on it first. So yeah, looks pretty good. Don't know if you can tell or not that the engine and intake manifold are green, and yeah, I don't know, it's subtle. So that's gonna do it for tonight. I will get back with you when I get out here again, hopefully tomorrow night, but we will see. All right, so next day, again, we're back out here. It's late. I got the AC compressor on it, belt's routed, it's ready to go in. Got to do a little more research because the line that came off of the 2.8 liter is hanging up on the wall there. It's close to the right size. The one I got that was for a 3.8 A body does not seem like it's going to work, so I got to do some more digging. But let's get this thing in the car. And there you go, it is in. Now we just have to connect everything to get it running. And I think we'll do that, and then not gonna worry about suspension stuff at the moment. Just get everything hooked up, get this thing started up, see how it sounds. So let's keep working. right, we're close. I've got to rework the lower radiator hose because with the AC compressor there, it doesn't clear now. So I got to go to the parts store, see if I can find something there tomorrow. Wiring's running the side of the car. Wiring's connected over there. Intake, upper radiator hose, trans-cooler lines, shifter cable, throttle cable, all that's hooked up. So the only thing left to do is underneath, which is the torque converter bolts, starter. Then we should be able to start it, put fluids in it and start it. So I'll be back with you guys hopefully tomorrow with the correct hose for the bottom, and we'll continue on. Maybe hear it run tomorrow. All right, next day. I got updates. Went and bought this coolant hose. It is for a 2003 Buick Park Avenue Ultra, and it's the perfect shape to work on this. I just got to cut the ends down a little bit, so that's good. And then I found the AC line here that came out of the Grand Prix that the engine, or actually it was a Buick, came out of a Buick. Same engine that's in the wide body Fiero. So I have this AC line, and then I have the AC line here that came off the 2.8, and then I found fittings that are to repair these aluminum pieces, basically compression fittings. So we're gonna cut this line down, and we're gonna cut that line down, and we're gonna make these two lines into one that will work for this. But before we do that, we're gonna get everything else buttoned up. So that's what I'm gonna work on. So yeah, now you know. We're getting closer every day. Way more of a project than what I thought it was gonna be, but here we are. Let's get going. Okay, so torque converter bolts. Gotta get them lined up here first. Turn the engine until we find a hole. There's one. Turn the torque converter and get our bolts started. I'm just gonna put them in finger tight until I get them all in here, and then we'll tighten them. Bolt number 2, number 3. Now that they're all in, we will tighten them. If you're following along to figure out how to do things, I'm sorry. These are 18 millimeter. All right, now we can get the starter in here. We also have to connect this and that together for the knock sensor. Oh, maybe I'll do that real quick. Our heat shrink over. We'll shrink her up. Now we got our starter. Make sure to always adhere to proper torque specs. All right, now this one here goes to the little post, and then these 32 other wires go to the big post, like so. And then we will zip tie all these wires in here a little nicer, like so. All right, now that we got starter, torque converter bolts in, I think the next step is exhaust, then suspension, lower radiator hose, and then the parts electrical under the dash. And I think we should be good to start this. All right, so I got this little cheap welder from Harbor Freight. I like using this for exhaust. The exhaust has got a bunch of leaks on it, and we're just gonna weld them up, so hopefully they don't leak anymore. So let's do that. think that's that. Let it cool off for a few minutes and then we'll rewrap this and then we'll get this exhaust installed. Now we just got to get up in here and tighten these bolts, maybe. There's that side. And there's that side. All right, now that we got the front bolted on, we got this hanger here. And then we got the V-band clamp right here. Like that. Alright, so I did you guys a favor and I fought with the steering shaft off camera because it didn't want to cooperate. So now we gotta get the suspension together. Basically I have to get the axle through the hub and then we'll get the lower ball joint seated in the knuckle. And then the tie rod. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Probably squirt some grease in the ball joint and tie rod. And then we can lower it down, hook up the wiring inside, coolant, fire it off. So let's get this taken care of. You can squirt a little grease in these, and then we can put the wheel on. One side down, now I just got to do the other side. All right, everything's hooked up. The radiator hose worked good. I got the electrical hooked up because it's really hard to film under the dash. The battery's hooked back up. Coolant's full. If you're wondering what coolant hose I used, this is the part number. And you cut about that much or less off and it works great. Like, it fit perfectly. So, since everything's hooked up, everything's plugged in, coolant's full, got to throw some power steering fluid in it really quick. And it's got oil. I'll try to crank it up here. Let me put some power steering fluid in it. Still got to put this under dash stuff in. And where are the keys? All right, now I have the keys. Well, let's start. And it died. We got oil pressure. We got voltage. Sounds really good. All right, and there you have it. Completed project. Engine runs pretty good. Drove it to work and back today. I did have a coolant leak, which was a lower radiator hose clamp that broke. Fixed that. Speedometer wasn't working because you have to connect all the wires for that, and the fan wasn't working because, yet again, you have to connect all the wires for that. But in, fixed, can drive it. I'm gonna end this video here. Actually, we're gonna go drive it, but then we'll end the video. We're gonna do the air conditioning in another video because I'm out of time right now, and it's not hot yet. So, if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. I want to thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe like I just said. Let's go take this for a drive, and then I will see you guys on the next video.